Changing just 1% of your mindset can change your life forever. Let's analyze this. We all perceive and interact with the world through our unique perspective, shaped by our upbringing, childhood, and daily habits. It all begins with this 1% shift in mindset. By changing just 1%, you will flip a switch and everything will change gradually, whether it's a bad habit or a good one. If you want that life everyone dreams for, you have to change 1% of your mindset. I spent years trying to be someone else, just so I could fit in, because I thought that the real me just wasn't enough. It left me feeling hollow. This isn't a story about some massive life-shattering. Overall, it's a story of a single tiny 1% shift in my thinking, a whisper of an idea that ended up changing absolutely everything. I used to copy others, trying so hard to fit in. Why? Because I was always the different one. It made me feel like I wasn't good enough. So I started doing things just to blend in, acting like them, liking what they liked, losing myself in the process. The real problem, the core of all this, was the belief that my authentic self was unworth it. It was a slow death of my own spirit. It left me with this profound emptiness, this quiet desperation where I was surrounded by people but totally disconnected, because nobody really knew me. And the scariest part, I was starting to forget who I was too. Then one day, I crossed paths with someone who reminded me of the version of myself I had buried. It landed with the force of a lightning bullet. They didn't try to fit in. They were totally different and didn't mind at all. They showed me what it's like to live in the real world, not the fake one we often get stuck in. They just move in this world with this effortless confidence. Watching them, I felt this weird mix of jealousy and total inspiration. They weren't trying to be like others, they were just being. And there was something magnetic about that honesty. It was right then that 1% shift happened, and without even knowing it, they changed me. They sparked something inside me. Even if it was just 1%, it was enough to change everything. The 1% shift was me finally realizing that this entire way of thinking was broken. It was the shift from constantly judging myself to just trying to learn and exist. It was me starting to entertain the idea that maybe, just maybe, my worth was built in, that it wasn't a price to be won. It's what the psychologist Carol Dweck calls a growth mindset. The belief that you can grow and change. This shift wasn't about suddenly thinking I was perfect. It was giving myself permission to be imperfect. It was about accepting that my journey was my own. This tiny change in perspective was like flipping a switch. It made me realize I don't have to be like others. I don't have to fit in, because we weren't born to blend in. We came to this world to achieve our goals, follow our dreams, live our own lives, worship our Lord, and respect our families. Now, this 1% shift didn't change my life overnight. It was more like turning the rudder of a huge ship by just 1 degree. At first, you can't even see the change in direction, but over time, it takes you somewhere completely new. The process wasn't about grand announcement. It was just a series of small private acts of courage. When I accepted who I am, when I embraced being different, everything changed. I stopped caring about what others thought. I started to become someone I could be proud of. This journey taught me that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's doing it anyway, even when you're scared. It's choosing to be real, even when it feels vulnerable. You don't have to have it all figured out to move forward. You just have to be willing to take a small step and then another. And you have to celebrate those small wins because they add up. Your mindset is the lens you see the world through. It shapes your reality, and the most powerful thing is that you can change that lens. You have the power to decide that a setback is a lesson, not a failure. So I want to leave you with a question. What is the one belief that's holding you back right now, that keeps you playing small? I want you to find your own 1% shift. Maybe it's deciding you are not your past mistake. Maybe it's giving yourself permission to chase passion, even if no one gets it. Or maybe it's just deciding to be a little kinder to yourself today. It doesn't have to be huge. The biggest changes start with the quietest decision. Don't wait for a sign. This is it. Do it for you. It all begins with one shift. A mindset, a habit, a decision to be you.